come along on a Monday evening,
greeting everybody with a smile. Welcome on in, folks, to another movie news here on a Monday night here in Bonnie, Scotland. I'm one of your co-hosts, Stephen John McLaughlin. Our co-host is John Christopher Walsh, and we are the Movie Burners. Cringe saying that. It's Movie Burner Entertainment. We are MBE.
As a man from Ireland who doesn't care about these things would say, a bunch of racists us Scots.
Yeah, what was that all about? It was really I think it was just one of these trolls. I mean, never bit at once. Not once did I bite. Anyway, that was
he's mistaking us for the English.
That was my Nicolas Cage, not once. But anyway, John, we're going to be talking about one subject tonight because we're doing a power of recordings at the moment that's very top secret, folks. We're not going to reveal what we're doing at the moment, but it will be revealed very, very soon.
I made an arse of the capture tonight.
Yeah.
Try to capture an episode.
An episode?
And I didn't put it in the right scene.
Oh, okay.
So that was 50, 60 minutes of split screen. Brilliant.
Well, we've got time. We've got time on our side, so time is on our hands. But John, we're talking about Timothée Chalamet's Wonka Prequel, and this is coming in from Screen Rant. Timothée Chalamet, we've covered this before, John. We've covered this Wonka Prequel, what's been happening, and now we're getting some feedback from one of the I was going to say one of the key roles. I don't know if it's a key role or not, but
you don't bring Keegan in if it's not.
Well, I hope not. I hope not. But John, it's the prequel movie performance praised by co-star, as you said, Keegan-Michael Key, who holds a role in the upcoming Wonka prequel musical movie, praises his co-star Timothée Chalamet's performance. I'm just going to read a little bit of this. It's more the quote, and then we can get into what we think and what we're hoping for as well, John. But THR recently had the opportunity to talk with Key while on the red carpet for the premiere of his new Hulu series Reboot. During the conversation, they asked the actor about his work in Wonka, and he shared some effusive praise for Chalamet. Wow, I've never used that word before.
Feeling right, that's for sure.
Feeling that the young star drips charisma, and there is a wonderful effortlessness to the way he brings this iconic role to life. It certainly is, and this is what he had to say. Here's this wonderful effortlessness about how he plays Wonka, not to mention the fact that there's this hopeful quality that he gives the character, a kind of indomitable quality that he'll never quit. He's always up for the next thing. He's like, okay, that didn't work out, we'll do this and we'll try something else. And Timothée Chalamet, what can I say, sacre bleu. That's one of your words, John. This kid, he drips charisma and wonderful confidence. He's just a really delicious artist. He is a delicious artist. You're certainly right about that, John. This is music to my ears because obviously
Keegan-Michael Key has swallowed a dictionary, Steve.
I know, just
indomitable,
put me through
effortlessness,
the ringer.
effusive.
There's the great Gene Wilder, I'm sure we'll mention shortly. But John, we've been covering this for maybe a best part of a year, I think now, haven't we, since the news broke that Timothée Chalamet is going to be appearing in a Wonka prequel.
Yes.
But now we're getting some good feedback, positive feedback in terms of Chalamet's performance as Wonka. Now, we've never doubted Chalamet's work in the past. We're big fans of Chalamet's work, so that was never an issue. We knew he was going to do a good job, and it's been confirmed here by Keegan-Michael Key. But then again, we both love Johnny Depp. We love his acting, and we all thought back in the mid-2000s, Tim Burton as well, what could possibly go wrong? It's a match made in heaven.
Johnny was too weird for Wonka.
Yep.
Which is extraordinary.
For him, yeah.
That's an extraordinary quote. Johnny was too weird for Wonka. And Wonka's pretty fucking weird, Stephen.
Yeah.
But it's Gene Wilder who's the elephant in the room, Stephen, when it comes to this character, when it comes to this movie franchise. It's not really a franchise because there's only been 2 movies to date, and this is a prequel movie. And the movie that came out with Depp and Burton was a remake. It's not a franchise. A franchise has to have multiple sequels within the same universe for me to get that title. But this sort of IP, he is the IP, Wilder. Mm-hmm. He's made it his own. He's synonymous with it. And there was something about Gene that was just special. I think all the movies, I've seen him in so many different kinds of movies. Westerns, Mel Brooks, fucking mental movies.
Yeah.
Just comedy movies, starring with Harrison Ford, Richard Pryor, he's just one of a kind. Obviously, tragically passed away not too long ago with dementia. So when you're trying to replicate or even better that performance, it's almost impossible to do. And that's why when we were speaking about it before we come on, Stephen, I suggested, and I'm hoping Chalamet has took this advice on from someone as well, just to forget about trying to replicate what that man there did. Yeah. Because you're never going to beat Gene Wilder's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory performance. It's not going to happen. He brought the right level of eccentricity and the right level of kindness. I've always viewed him, Stephen, in the same breath as a sort of breath, if I can speak, as a sort of Albus Dumbledore from Harry Potter, who was a very nice man when he had to be, and in the presence of the children, the students. But then he had this edge to him. Yeah. He had a darkness within.
A cynical edge.
He rolled with the likes of Gellert Grindelwald. He was also a very capable wizard, and he had that dark edge within him as well. There was sort of double levels to the character, and for me, your man Richard Harris, I think it was it Richard Harris who did the first two?
Passed away.
Never had a chance to give us that complexity. The first two movies were very kid friendly. It was all very gentle, very nice. Michael Gambon came in and he was too aggressive. So it's about getting that balance when you've got guys like Harris, guys like Gambon, esteemed actors, and other franchises tackling similar kind of characters and not quite getting it right. It shows you how brilliant Wilder was, that he was able to get the comedic, the niceness, the eccentricity, the darkness, and just balance it beautifully. The darkness
was the key to it, John, I felt.
It was.
Because there
and
was
a musical.
I can only imagine what it must have been like on set as well with him, that he was really good with the kids, but at the same time kept them on their toes. Some maybe dark humour and stuff like that, but
it didn't work with Depp. Depp couldn't do it.
Well, John, that's the thing. I think the studio is very conscious of that as well, and I think that's why they're going back the way and trying something different. They're trying a prequel. It's a musical, we forgot to mention, just like the Gene Wilder one. That's not to say, John, that if this is a success, they will then carry it on to the story that we all know and love with Timothée Chalamet playing that. And I think that's a better way of opening the sort of doors up for the actor to be accepted in the role. If you do a prequel before the sort of main well-known story, if you know what I mean, and then perhaps maybe we'll get the Great Glass Elevator as a third instalment, a trilogy of Wonka
that's one
films.
I would like to see, Stephen. I don't know how you can make a prequel and then just jump to a sequel and leave the middle story untouched.
I think it'll be a trilogy if they're going to go down that road.
It depends though, because obviously Brandon Routh's Superman was set technically within the same universe as Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, it was a continuation.
It was a recast. So there has been precedent in other franchises of recasting and doing stories. I don't know if it would work in this instance, but Stephen, as I says, and I've got a fucking 5-minute tangent, just waffling. You can't beat Wilder in his performance, so it's why even try? We've already attempted it. I'm not on board for that sort of remaking, but I'm certainly on board for this prequel.
But it's strange that Roald Dahl was never a fan of the Gene Wilder film, and I think just because of the tone of it. I think I might be wrong. I don't know if he was still alive. I'm not really sure, but I think his estate accepted more the sort of tone of Burton's, which is a strange one, because I've read the book, enjoyed the book.
Kubrick and Stephen King.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing, But I think the beauty of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the Wilder one, was that nothing had came before. There was no expectation. It had to be funded, I think, by a cereal company, the breakfast cereal company, Quaker, I think it was, Quaker Oats. And they had to fund it. I think they probably provided the chocolate as well, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, it's one of those films, John. It's a generation film, and it's one of those films that passes to generations as well. My daughter, maybe right up to about 2 years ago, was obsessed with the film, the Gene Wilder one. That was. I tried to get her to watch the Johnny Depp one, and she likes Johnny Depp, but she could not sit through it. She said this is very uncomfortable. He's too weird. The character's too peculiar. She didn't use that word. She's only 9. Doesn't know what that means, but that was the kind of general vibe I got from
Prince George, Prince Harry, and obviously the Duke and the Duchess of Sussex there. First kid, don't know his name. He said crocodile.
First
word.
a
first word.
Yeah, bullshit.
So
bullshit.
Stephen, I'm just looking at
the first time they lied.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. Family of fucking just pathological liars and just dodgy bastards. Stephen,
a disturbing history of Oompa Loompas. I'm saying that. Wow.
Yeah. The reason I'm looking that up, Stephen, I'm not going to bring that on the screen. No. The reason I brought that up was because you mentioned the estate Roald Dahl himself potentially not as happy about the Gene Wilder movie as the Tim Burton one. Yeah. And I just was intrigued to see if the Oompa Loompas and stuff like that was more accurate to the novel or the book, because it's probably a kid's book. Do you call a kid's book a novel? I don't know.
Kids novel.
Yeah. In comparison to also the Wilder one, where it was little orange guys with the green hair, very caricature, very silly. And I'm looking at the images, and fuck me, I am glad they have never accurately recreated. Stephen, based off African slaves, pygmies.
Pygmies. Yeah.
It's just so racist. It's unreal.
Yeah.
So thank God whoever was involved. I don't know who directed the Wilder movie. Thank God they didn't give us an accurate.
I can't remember his second name.
I'm glad they went for the orange.
Yeah.
Because that fit the tone of that movie. Obviously, Stephen, you look at the Johnny Depp movie. Also, it was a little sort of, dare I say it, the brawl. It was like clones, wasn't it? So it's kind of is similar to the interpretation.
Mel Stewart was the director. Yeah.
You look at we're looking at the Oompa Loompas from the early 2000s movie.
Well, that was a copy and paste. That was I can't remember the actor's name, but he appeared in an X-Files episode, which was very creepy. Yeah. He was a little man who got about on a kind of a board with wheels. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
it was really creepy. Yeah, but I don't know who the actor's name is, but it was really.
But you look at the sort of back and forth. Disturbing. It's closer to that than. Obviously the original one, or the Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory one. But Stephen, getting back to this movie, man, it doesn't surprise me. Chalamet has been praised for his performance. He's one of the best actors of his generation so far. He's a Zoomer, isn't he? Actually, I think he's a millennial cross Zoomer. He's on the sort of boundary. He's the last possible year for a millennial, the first possible year for a Zoomer. Yeah. So he's sort of broaching two generations. But I would push him into the Zoomer generation. I don't think he'd have much in common with someone born in 1980, for instance, or 81. So I'd say he's a Zoomer. He's in that sort of category with the likes of Tom Holland and Zendaya, people like that.
Yeah.
He is without a doubt one of the best actors of that generation. And already, man, he's like, 24, 25, I think.
I think it's fair to say he carried June. He
carried
carried the film.
But Stephen, his back catalogue is unreal. Yeah. The variety in performances. This guy's not scared to tackle hard-hitting drug sort of addiction movies. He'll do science fiction.
Ladybird was the first film I saw him in.
Yeah, was that one with Saoirse?
Yeah, and that was just a supporting role. He wasn't in it much, but he just left an impression.
And also did the other one, I'm blanking on the name of it, where he
Beautiful Boy with Steve Carell.
Steve Carell was the sort of addiction one. But did he not do one that was about a sort of young guy? He had this role model. It was a sort of older male, and they had a romantic thing going on. So this guy did multiple hard-hitting movies. He's a real serious drama.
Only Living Boy in New York. I'm pretty sure that was one.
And also June, you mentioned June. He was absolutely fantastic. It's Paul Atreides in June. So this guy's already a real mainstream A-list actor. He's got the sort of, how do we call it, the extravagance and the clothes he wears to red carpets. He's got, as Keegan-Michael Key says, he's got this sort of effortlessness to him. He's got this indomitable quality. He is, man. He's a very cool guy. He's very charismatic, and he's a fucking brilliant actor. So it does not surprise me that he's come in here. He's playing this strange, eccentric character. It's been performed by two legends before him, and he's making it his own. He's giving a brilliant performance.
Yeah.
But Stephen, you look at the cast in this movie. I'll drag this over here so we can get bring this up. Hopefully it'll work, and we'll not have an issue. It seems to have worked. You look at the cast in this movie, and it's just absolutely outstanding. It's a who's who of British actors.
Yeah,
Rowan Atkinson, Sally Hawkins, outstanding, of course, in The Shape of Water. I think she was in Paddington with Paul King.
Yep.
Olivia Colman, fucking incredible actor, multiple Golden Globe, Academy Award winner. Keegan-Michael Key, who's out speaking about Timothée Chalamet. He's a brilliant comedic kind of actor. He's worked closely with a lot of brilliant figures behind the camera, in front of the camera. Matt Lucas, I'm not as huge a fan of Matt Lucas as the others, but he's certainly comedic. Rowan Atkinson, I mentioned, Stephen, he's fucking...
Yeah,
he's a very Marmite, isn't he? But he's great.
I would say he's a comedy legend in the UK, yeah, definitely.
It's a brilliant cast, though. And you look behind the camera, Paul King, man, who's Paddington fame, wonderful director.
That's what I'm looking forward to, because Paul King's got this very unique look in his films, particularly with Paddington, because there was a lot of it based on sort of having the idea of it coming out of a book.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to do that in this film. I would love that, because if you're going to go with it being a musical, then you're kind of suspending realism anyway. So
just intrigued who
it would be for the aesthetics. I think it would look really good.
I'd love to see who did the score, Stephen, because I loved the first Paddington movie in particular. The score in that movie was absolutely outstanding. And I always think this, I can't remember the name of it, but there's one particular piece of music from that first movie. This will do nicely or something.
Yeah.
It's when Paddington gets home. It's just stunning. The composing is absolutely outstanding. So I hope he's like your Christopher Nolans, your Tarantinos. He'll bring like a Hoyt van Hoytema cinematographer, a Ludwig Göransson, Hans Zimmer over to his movie. Because when that happens, you've got that continuity. Magic's going to happen, Stephen. The Paddington movies are outstanding, man.
If Paul King's very much like a lot of
James McGarvey,
Neil
Hannon.
Neil Hannon, is that not from your man from the what's it? What are they called? I can't remember the band name. They did the National Express.
Oh yeah,
Divine Comedy.
Yeah,
is that not him? It is a Divine Comedy. Yeah. Wow.
I don't think he was involved in Paddington, but Stephen, again, man. You think of the Divine Comedy, man. Some of the songs he brought out. That's an interesting choice.
Lovely horse. Yeah, exactly.
Was that Father Ted?
Yeah.
Because I was watching a Father
Ted
scene.
It. He wrote it. Yeah.
I was watching the cow stealing.
Cinematography is Seamus McGarvey.
Seamus McGarvey.
Yeah.
I don't know these names. I'm not going to say.
No, I'm not going to kid on myself, John. But sometimes
names.
You do find that Atonement, which is a great film. Anna Karenina. It's very musical orientated, and I think he's probably he's picked a
Great Showman, director of photography.
Yeah.
So Nocturnal Animals.
Yeah.
Fucking love Nocturnal Animals.
Some resume, this guy. Yeah.
He has Pan. Yeah. So it's really interesting array of music and movies he's got going on there. So you look at the cast, man. You look at the crew. It's all the pieces are there for this to be a special movie. But it's Paul King first and foremost for me that just grabs me.
Yeah,
love the Paddington movies. I'm torn because I'd have loved him to stay for the final one. To me, if he created magic in that third Paddington movie, it's in the equation for the greatest trilogy ever made. Because that just, for me, they're two perfect movies. The casting, the villain, just brilliant. The energy,
the look of the films,
the look of the movie.
They're beautiful looking films as well.
And they've just wowed a new generation and brought
the
Paddington sort of story to a new generation of people and old generations alike. So he is an incredible director. You pair him with a Chalamet and there's only going to be something special.
Does it bother you it's going to be a musical, John, or you think that's the right direction to take the story in?
No, Stephen, Wonka and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, it's tailor-made for a musical for me. That's one of the more underrated aspects of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the music. I don't think enough people speak about the music. We spoke about it. Yeah. You probably know more of the songs than I do. But World of Pure Imagination, I think it is. That's one of the
iconic,
fucking greatest pieces of music ever brought to film.
And they got the man to sing it.
They got the man to sing it and he did a great job.
Yeah.
But even some of the other ones with the grandfather, with obviously Charlie himself.
I've got a golden ticket,
I've got a golden ticket. There's some iconic little tunes come out it. So if you can pair that with a Divine Comedy, like that, what was his name again? Something Gannon?
Neil
Gannon.
Hannon or something like that. I can't remember.
You combine that, if you can create, maybe capture the sort of imagination of a new audience with songs, that's half the battle. That's half the battle of the movie, man. Not even the performances, the music, making it pop. But Stephen, I want to see the Oompa Loompas being saved. In this movie,
I think the synopsis is something that this is the first time he meets them, and just remembering the actual story from when I was in primary school, they did mention that the reason when they were questioning who are these creatures, these beings, what are they and where do they come from, and Wonka explained they come from, I think Loompa Land is where they're from, and that's some snore Harley, and I think the sort of synopsis of that was that he rescued them from all these creatures that were in Loompa Land that were killing them off.
You mentioned the name of them.
Vermicious Canids or something like that.
Vermicious Canids.
Yeah, some name. And something else.
Stephen, I just think that's great. Because obviously it's one of the more standout relationships in that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie anyway, when he whips them out. They're almost like the henchmen in a strange way for obviously Wonka.
Yeah.
And that he's this eccentric guy that's, is he killing the kids? Is he not killing the kids? He's certainly committing some atrocities at the very least on the kids. PTSD, going to be buffed out of that whole experience. They deserve it, the little shitheads. But the Wonkas are like the henchmen who are enacting it.
Yeah.
So how he gets to meet them, how he forms that relationship, just the weird, wondrous world we're going to be wished off to. I can't think of a better combination of people come together to make that happen.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this fucking movie.
It's next Christmas it comes out.
Oh, it's perfect.
Isn't it? It's just a great
Absolutely
time.
perfect.
Yeah, for a musical.
Can't think of a better time for a Wonka movie to come out
fantastic.
than Christmas.
Well, think all those Wonka selection boxes we're going to get.
Yes. Stephen,
the merchandise will be in full flow.
Maybe we'll get to see him at the very end, almost like Revenge of the Sith, where you see this first sort of tentative stages of the Death Star being built. Maybe we'll see him building his chocolate factory.
Yeah.
We'll see them going to work.
Comes into it as well.
Yeah. But looking, the last thing I'll say, you look at the visuals, man, and it's almost like a combination of the two. But if you were to twist my arm, I'd say it's edging closer to the Johnny Depp Wonka.
Yeah.
If you actually bring it up, I mean, it's edging closer.
A lot of time has passed since, obviously, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Depp one, that is.
Yeah.
I think we're ready for another Wonka film. And I think a story that we're not familiar with is probably the best way to go.
I'd say it's a combination of the two, Stephen.
Yeah.
The hat's more like the Wilder hat.
Yeah,
the jacket's more like the Depp jacket. But this is a younger version. He's going to have a different get-up. He's not going to be wearing the same fucking suit and clothes for like 30 years. But I like the fact he's got the cane. I like the fact he's got the briefcase. And just I like the leading man. I think
he's tailor-made for the suit and he's tailor-made for the role.
Stephen, he's a 6 foot guy, lean as hell. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. Really looking forward to this, man.
Can't wait.
Excited that his performance is getting praised.
Can't wait till we get a trailer.
I get fucking on. Yeah, I'm getting the intro again.
Hello everyone.
That didn't work, did it?
We're going to start again.
Yes, and I've just switched off the fucking... What if I switched off the logo?
That's okay.
Now it's animating like the Cartoon Network logo.
Which we never ripped off.
Ripped off to hell. But ours is better. Better colours. Yeah, look man, looking forward to the movie. Looking forward to where it goes. Looking forward to Christmas next year. I'm not even at Christmas this year yet. I'm close to having a breakdown already. Very precarious, slippery slope in front of me just now between my fucking dog and everything else. Very, very, very close. But I can't wait till next year. Avatar this year, Wonka next year, and then we'll talk about Elevator of, what is it, Glass Elevator?
Yeah, maybe.
Sounds like a fucking Beatles song.
See how it
Sounds
goes.
like something Lennon would have wrote.
On the White Album?
66. 68, yeah, White Album. But look man, it's going to round it up. Gibbering on here, we've got other things to do. So we're going to end this very... I forgot the word again. I was about to say with great expediency, but I don't think that's the word. There is a word that is the plural, the sort of plural of expedient, and it means quickly. I don't know why I just don't say end this quickly, because that's, you know me, I have to be a smart ass. I have to be a fucking smart ass and try and use big fancy words, which clearly I don't know. What is your thoughts on Wonka? What is your thoughts on Chalamet, Timothée Chalamet, being praised by his co-star Keegan Michael Key? Another one of those double barrel names you always forget the order they're in. Michael Keegan Key, Keegan Michael Key, John David Washington, David John Washington, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Gordon Joseph Levitt.
You did very well, John.
There's other ones.
Yeah, Finn Porey.
Finn Porey. Pin Porey. Oh, Stephen, we need to... It's just a real shame I never saved that. That would have been perfect as a shot.
Yeah.
Just the breakdown. You see the views that one got on TikTok.
Yeah.
Fuck me, we missed a trick with that. But that was before we were even aware of TikTok. That was before we were even competent. If we're competent just now at doing live stuff. Yeah, anyway, share your thoughts down below about Wonka, about Chalamet, about anything we've fucking went off and spoke about in this show. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get notifications on YouTube. Do the same over on Twitch, follow button, notifications button over there to see the exact same content over there live 3 days a week. Regards to what you do though. Thank you for watching us. And all that's left to say is bye bye. E.T. phone home.